I am lonely as a priest. I am alone at times, but I actually find myself surprisingly surrounded by people more than I could have imagined. Where, I'm alone in the mornings, in the evenings, different times, I kind of have my own schedule. I'm lonely, but I always feel like I'm actually sometimes have more contact with different families and different groups and different things going on at the church and everything else, where sometimes I'm like, well, I wish I was more lonely. I wish I had more alone time, because there's like such demands on the priest, constantly, be present in all those different things. But one of the other things that, really strikes me is, it always seems like as if the grass is greener on the other side, or, oh, a priest must be lonely because he's not married. But what I've kind of been able to discern by talking to married couples, experiencing, a greater insight into divorce, insight into struggling marriage, insight into, just the sin that tears us apart. I realize that, like, yeah, I might be lonely at certain times, but it's not because I'm celibate. It's just because I'm sinful, and because I sometimes turn away from God and I turn away from relationships. Um, and the same thing happens within marriage. The same thing happens, the same loneliness that I experience as a priest happens within marriage, because guess what? Married couples, even though they might live in the same house, doesn't necessarily mean that they're living beautifully together, right? And hopefully you hope within marriage that that is the case. But even within great marriages, there's times of loneliness. And if we're so afraid of loneliness that we run to marriage in order to avoid that loneliness, there's going to be some trouble there, because there's going to be loneliness within marriage, and the other person isn't going to fulfill your every need there. And so partly for me is to acknowledge, yeah, there are times where I'm lonely, and that's okay. But another vocation or anything else isn't going to fix that. It's not going to take it away. And actually, where I need to grow is actually in, surrendering that to Jesus and bringing Jesus into that loneliness and that suffering, and actually allow that to be a purification, a prayer, in the midst of it all.